Welcome to the Modern Eco Village. We are building a community in the south of Spain for 500 households, a complete community focused on health, sustainability, and community interaction. Our goal is to create a green oasis where we can upgrade different aspects of our lives, get closer to nature while keeping the modern comfort and technology. So listen up.
Okay, welcome to the first podcast episode for the MEV.
Welcome.
So the MEV Modern Eco Village. So my name is Belinda, if you don't know.
My name is Iancu.
Yes, we're married, and some of you may have seen us on TikTok or Instagram because we are also the founders of what's going to be the world's first modern eco village. And that sentence is wild, and it's so big, and we know that a lot of people have a lot of questions, and they're curious about the project, and they want to know what's going on, and they want to know about who are the people who are creating this and building this, because we're no longer just you and I with a crazy idea. We're actually now a full team that continues to grow as we're developing the world's first freaking modern eco village.
Can I still retain a little bit of ownership?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, we're also owners, not just founders, but also owners, which is insane. So we really wanted to have a place online where we can sit down and in a tranquilo environment really talk in depths, because we have so many great conversations about this project offline, both you and me at home, but also in the offices. And so we want people to get to know the team, get to know us, and get to know the project, because this project here, it's not, we're not selling just the houses, we're not selling just the place, we're selling everything, the community, the neighborhood, and I want people to trust us, because there's a lot of wild things out there on the internet, we have to admit. So some people come to us and they're like, oh, this project seems way too good to be true. And we agree. We talk about that all the time because we're building our own personal dream. So to come together, and you guys as listeners, that they can come and they can get to know us, and to know our struggles and how we're building this project, and to get to know the team and everybody. I'm very excited about this. But first, why don't you, like in hardcore masculine boy facts, tell us what is actually the Modern Eco Village? What are we doing?
Well, if I'm going to explain it very shortly, I need many hours to explain this concept, but it boils down to the fact that it's a community project for approximately 500 households. So basically we're building 500 homes and a lot of community areas, like communal areas, facilities, and it's all going down in southern Spain, not so far from Alicante, one of the best climates in the world. And we have focus on health, we have focus on self-grown food, we have focus on sustainability, both from an electricity perspective, but also food and economy and community. Yeah. Did I mess it up? No.
I know. I think you did very good. I think it's a bit, when you guys talk about the project, I think it's a bit boring because you skip all the fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like how pretty it's going to be, that we're surrounded by olive trees, that we're going to have a beautiful little cafe that's going to have seasonal,
I can explain it a little bit more in depth, because there's certain key points that people should know about, right? So the 500 homes that we're building, as I said, this is a community project, so we haven't talked so much about the homes, because the homes is just a small part of what this project is, right? But the homes are built with a minimum impact on nature. That's why we have the technology that we're using today, is to have like smaller foundations, less use concrete, be as little invasive as possible. They're 100% sustainable. They have low EMF, low toxicity. We're using non-toxic materials, and all the technology inside of it. It's modern and it's fantastic, but we use the technology to get us closer to nature instead of further apart.
This is why we're calling us a modern eco village.
Exactly.
And not just an eco village.
Exactly. So people might think that having a very modern house, a very nice house, and I mean, if people are going to most of them are checking our websites, right? And they look at these houses and they say, "Oh, wow, but this looks like something I wouldn't afford." And that's not true either. The houses are not expensive, not at all, compared to the market price in southern Spain. But they're just so amazing. I'm so proud of the houses. And we got, early in the project, we got Jose Manuel Escobedo, our architect, to draw something for us.
I call him Josie.
Yeah. Yeah, Jose drew the first house model, and I remember you cried a little bit.
You cried.
Yeah, maybe I shed a tear.
You cried.
It was a milestone.
But I think for us at that point, I don't even know if it was the actual house, because we've changed the house so much, you can almost not recognize it to what we have today, to the design freeze that we just posted. But the fact that somebody had such faith in us, and they spent their time and they drew a house and they put like a picture to our dream, that was for me the most special part, because Josie was was one of the first people who actually thought that maybe we can do this. So should we talk about how this entire thing came to be? Because
let's just nail what we're building first. The facts, yeah. So the houses are one thing, but then we're going to have a lot of communal areas that we just mentioned. There's going to be a school, a kindergarten, there's going to be shops, there's going to be stores, restaurants, offices, wellness, and
gym, hairdresser.
Even a hotel.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be absolutely amazing. A lot of sports facilities.
Yeah.
As well. So, we have
health clinic.
Yeah, we have all this focus on health and movement, and Belinda often says that we are inspired on by the blue zones. Yeah, and we haven't thought of all of this in day one when we started this project, but we knew that we wanted to be living closer to nature. We knew that we wanted to eat organic food. We knew we're going that way. So we just kind of started, but as we went along, especially for the last year and a half, with all these new people coming to the project, kind of defined the project and took care of all these small details, and these new people coming with their knowledge, so many experts, so many resourceful people that came into the project, they just tuned this project to what it is today. And it's absolutely amazing. I don't think there is any other project like this in the world. I know there's a lot of eco-villages in the world, and I have the utmost respect for those people living the way they do. And there's a lot of modern projects with a patch of grass here and there, and that's fine too. But what we're doing is absolutely different.
It is very different.
That's how I feel about it.
It's so cool now because it's not just yours and mine, right?
Not anymore.
It's it has a life of its own, because everyone who's coming in is creating their dream. So it was so cool. Just the other day, I was talking to some of our upcoming neighbors. We were at a birthday party for a boy, and I said, we should have like a WhatsApp group, I said, for all of the parents, so we can start talking about the schools and stuff. And she was like, I'm already in one. And I was like, what? Can I see? Because I don't have children, so obviously I'm not one of the parents. So I was like, can I see? And she handed me the phone, and I got to see something created by our team for our members and future neighbors that I had no idea was happening. And that was such a moment. It was like, wow, this is so big right now, and we have all of these different project managers, and we have all these different people having their different roles.
I experience that every day now.
Yeah, I do.
Imagine. Stephen asked me. Stephen is our project manager, so he asked me sometimes, "Do you want to attend that meeting? It's not really important that you do, just if you want to." And I found myself saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm good. No, thank you."
Oh my God, this is how you have it with me. This is the gift that you gave me also. Like, do you want to attend this meeting? Because you really don't have to. And I'm like, no, you know what? Are you telling me I can actually not? Then cool.
No, this is different because we delegate so we can both work.
Oh. For those who listen, I'm in my first year of stay-at-home dog mom, and I'm enjoying it so freaking much. It's been my dream since, I had this dream since lunch, and I'm not ready to give up on it yet. So but it's very new to me, and I'm at home way more than I've been ever. I've been working and hustling forever, so it's pretty cool.
I mean, this project wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. And your input, especially lately now, has been absolutely great. And I believe this project has no life without you. But that doesn't need to be like a full-time job.
I don't have to be at the office and do all of that because so we're going to take you into a little bit more about how this entire idea came to be.
Yeah,
and
but if you're going to explain how it kind of started, and then people are going to understand.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go there, but before that so the last year that we've been working hardcore with this, Iancu's role has been to do all the lawyer stuff, all the approvals. Like anybody who owns a house, who has even just built the freaking porch, the paperwork to get that approved? Can you imagine the paperwork it takes to...
It's difficult,
build a village,
and it takes years, and it takes money.
In a different country, in a language you don't even know. So what you've been through for the last... I have no idea. Because while you were doing this, I was just a stay-at-home dog mom, making sure that we got the word out and that we got people in and all of that. So my job has been very, very simple. And I haven't been so much in the offices because of this. But now that you're done with so much of the boring stuff and the fun part, sorry, I'm not going to call it, I'm going to rewire my brain. I'm going to call it important. Now that you're done with the important stuff.
I'm not done. We're just starting.
Yes, but... now that the visuals are starting, I can be a little bit more in the offices again, right? Because I'm more needed now than I have been in the last year. So I kind of been waiting a bit for you guys to land everything so that we can start with all the visuals, not just the back end, but also, because my role is social media. Come on.
Yeah.
But, I don't even know where to start when we're going to talk about how this happened, because I'm a master of taking a short story and make it long. And this is a long story from before. So, I was born on a Tuesday. No, I'm kidding. But Iancu and I, when we got together 8-9 years ago, we moved very fast. We kind of knew that either we make this the most epic thing it's ever been, or we're not going to do it at all. So we decided very early on that we're going to have a very different life. We wanted to test if it's possible to just create a life with almost no compromise. So we called it, we had these weekly meetings, and we also called what we were doing, we called it push strategy, yeah. But we called it reality creation. Let's create a different reality. And we didn't know anybody who did the same. Most of our friends and family thought that we were crazy, constantly telling us that we're ruining our lives and we need to, just settle and calm down and whatnot. But we were so hooked on the idea that what if it's possible to actually have a better life? What if it's possible to have an amazing relationship, to be healthy and happy, and to live a life that you don't want a vacation from? Wasn't that our thing? Yeah. Yeah. So we landed on...
We sat down and we landed on the concept.
Yeah, we landed on... So we went through everything, where do you want to live? And even that, we couldn't decide on where we wanted to live, but we knew that we could focus on the feeling that we wanted to have. And we knew that we wanted to be warm. We knew that we wanted to be safe. We knew that we wanted to be in the same time zone as friends and family. So Iancu was Romanian, I am Norwegian. Usually Romania and Norway have the same time zone, or they just an hour apart. Yeah. And I've also lived in California, and I love the climate so much, but it was really difficult with the time zone to stay in touch with friends and family and, seeing people and the flights and all of that. So we found out that for us, Spain, mainland Spain, is actually perfect. So we even, we set a strategy then. We were like, so if we're going to be able to move to Spain and live a calm, free life there, we need to have a business that's going to help us live in a different country. So number one, we have to quit our jobs, right? And then we have to make some sort of business online. And neither one of us had ever done that before. So we were, just coming to this fresh, having, no experience, just have to learn everything. And then we downloaded this app on both of our phones. It was like this countdown app, and we put it on 10 years. And we're like, within 10 years, we're going to have done everything we need to do so we can live in Spain. The kids will be grown enough. He has children, I don't. So his kids needed to be grown enough. And we thought 10 years, we can make a business and then make some money in 10 years.
Well, 10 businesses later and 10 different houses later, here we are.
Here we are. So when we started all of this, obviously a lot of the things we started failed, and it was really difficult, and we struggled financially, and we had absolutely nothing, and everything we ever owned, we kind of invested in new things. If it was a computer or a camera or like anything work related to, or any business, or we tried everything. We tried so much. We always said that we're not going to leave a single stone unturned, and one day we're going to like catch our break and things will work out. And in those years, we did a lot. Like we built my influencer platform. We had several different companies. We did marketing for a lot of people. We have had these key people who believed in us, and
we had our own, organic product range, our own factory and distribution company, and
podcasts and books and small TV shows and whatnot.
And teaching platform.
So we did so much, and while we were building this financial freedom that we wanted, which was, it's funny because you quit your job so you don't have to work 8 hours a day for nothing to, work 20 hours a day for even less. So it was very difficult. But while we were doing this, we were also working on our personal selves. Actually, I don't know a single person who has put in more time and effort on your life as a whole than we have on our physical health, mental health, financial health. We're so aware of what we want and what we don't want. So then fast forward 5 years, we came to Spain and on a vacation, and we never left. So that's another story. We can take it for another day. But we had spent a couple of weeks here, and we felt like this is how it's supposed to be, and we want to live here. And we thought that everything was now aligned and we could do it, 5 years ahead of our schedule. So we never went back to Norway, and we just sold the house over the phone and stuff like that. So that's a crazy story. But when we finally came to Spain, we were like, okay, we're here. Now we need to start thinking about how we want to live here. And we rented a lot of different houses, and we very quickly realized that the housing market here is the absolute worst.
It's a tourist place, in all fairness. So
in all fairness, it is. We are in the south of Spain. We're in Costa Blanca, and so the houses were difficult. So either they were like Tiki Taki Funky's house with no plot and fake grass and nothing, or you had the Spanish beautiful villas that I thought was like a dream, which are stone houses.
But this is not functional enough.
No, they're not functional at all. And we're used to a modern comfort. So it started with us starting to think about, okay, we probably have to end up building a house here. That's our dream. So it started there. And then it was like, okay, if we're going to build a house here, then obviously I want to build one for my mom, because let's have my mom here. And then it kind of added on because we knew that we had friends and family that really wanted to live this life. And then we also looked at the prices, because the prices on the houses around us, they're so expensive. And we thought to ourselves, like, it doesn't have to be that expensive. And if the prices are lower and quality is higher, it's going to be way more easier for people to come down. So we were just having these thoughts, okay? So we had so many houses here that were disappointing us, and moving into a home and
lack of community as well.
Yeah, lack of community and all of that.
We were trying to fix all of that by building a few houses for us, family and friends, right?
The fact that we wanted to do that also is just, I don't even know how that, but I know how that came to us.
You really miss your garden. I mean, yes. You wanted grass and place to grow vegetables. But, you've done that on rocks, literally.
I did. I'm a garden granny, and all I want to do is, make plants and vegetables grow. But when you don't have a home and you don't have a community, you are so rootless. It's like something like this deep inner longing. So what you and I wanted all of these years, everything that we worked for from day one, was that sense of belonging. We wanted to put down roots. And you have seen me move from house to house, and I cry like a child, and I have to leave. I cannot almost talk about it because people think I'm a lunatic because I almost start crying just leaving my lemon trees and all of that, because we've come into house after house here in Spain and we really thought that maybe this is it, even though like the deep down whispers, like your subconscious is kind of saying, you know, this is off, right? But so we've been moving all of these houses and we're thinking we need to fix this problem. And then two things happened. And this time, because we knew we were going to move, we knew we were going to lose another house. So we were sitting a couple of years ago, we were sitting in this achy feeling of yet another home dream is trashed and crashed and burned, and we have no sense of roots, and we miss community, we miss family, we miss higher quality on everything in life. And then your son, he said one day, he was like, wouldn't it be easier just to buy a city?
Classic Nicolas.
Classic Nicolas, because both me, Iancu, and Nicolas, we have this delulu ability to think very high thoughts, and it doesn't matter if you have the financial means to do it or if you have the proper education to do it. We believe that you can do whatever you want if you really want it, right? So Nicolas was like, why don't you guys just buy, like, there are like leftover cities all over the place. He made it so easy. He was like, why don't you buy one of those? And we were like, wait a minute, I can get my mom here. We can have our friends and family. Let's buy a city. And I remember I even called my friend. Remember, we called Benedicta and we were like, do you want to buy a city with us? and we played a bit with that thought, but a seed had been sowed in us by then. We were like we knew that we wanted.
Actually checked a few cities.
Yeah, I know.
Italy
It was
Spain,
great. Yeah.
That's horrible. That's I don't recommend anyone do that.
No,
It's just a money trap. Yeah.
Trying to fix up like just a house that's run down. Imagine doing it to a city. But anyhow, so we had this thought, like we knew that we wanted something different, and we were really missing growing roots. And then I had meditation, and we had just we were in this phase right now where we had a house, and you knew that we could not stay there, right? Because all these things were coming up, and I was fighting it. I was fighting it so hard because I so badly wanted. I had just planted my tree. I really wanted just to watch that tree grow through the seasons, right? I didn't want to listen to any of the stuff that you said. I was just like boycotting it from my brain. And then I did a meditation where you're like supposed to see a glimpse from your future, right? I don't even believe in this kind of stuff. But I did the meditation and I had like this vision or whatever, and I couldn't see fully what it was. It was like a TV screen, but I could only see like the lower corner. But I could see that we were like standing in front of a vegetable patch, and things looked way bigger than I knew what I could handle. And that was the feeling I took out of the meditation. I was like, ugh, like, why did I see a glimpse of me handling this huge vegetable patch? Because I can barely get my own tomatoes to grow. Like, I don't want anything more. And why weren't we in the same house? Like, why was everything so different? And I was so tired and burnt out from a lot of things that were happening in our lives. So I kind of just let it go. I didn't want to think about it. I just put it aside. I wrote about it in my book, but I put it aside. And then a few months later, I did the meditation again, and the exact same thing happened. And then I saw the same picture. And then
could be wishful thinking.
Probably, because we talked about this so many times. We don't know what it is, but this is what popped into my brain. And at that time, I had also just seen that show on Netflix called How to Live to 100, and I was obsessed with the blue zones. I am still obsessed with the blue zones. I made an Instagram account called Belinda's Blue Zone, where I invited only like my hardcore, like the people who actually love me on social media. They're not just there to tell me that my nostrils are too big and my ears are wrong, but the hardcore like Norwegian group of followers. So I invited them over there where we could talk about how to live like in a mental blue zone, and then so in that time I took this meditation to a healer, and I told her, and this is so out of my character, if you know me, I don't I have barely have meditated since then, and I don't frequently go to healers. But I took this thing to a healer, and I told her, like, I don't understand what this image is I keep seeing is. What is it? And she drew it down to me, and she said, I think that you and your husband are building an eco-village. And I had never heard of that. And then I remember that exact day, I took up my new Instagram platform, the Belinda's Blue Zone, And I told them about it. I was like, she said that we're going to build an eco-village. Like, I don't even know what that is and blah, blah, blah. And then I went home and I was going to tell it to you. And I was a bit nervous because usually you don't take it too seriously, these, woohoo things. And
still don't.
I know you don't. But it was so fascinating because I told you, like, so Jess said this and, so we're making an eco-village. And you looked at me and you said, let's build a modern eco-village. And boom, that was that. The same night, we made a website and we started talking about how can a modern eco-village look like. And we do what we do best. We just got sucked into this energy of let's talk no compromise under the umbrella. What if it's possible? If it's possible and you can actually do this, what do we want? And we knew that we wanted everything that your parents have in Romania, because his parents in Romania, they live in the Romanian countryside, in the most beautiful place. They have this insane garden. They're self-sufficient, but they also switch with the community. And every single time we visit them, like the community and their neighbors, they will come with whatever homemade food that they have, and they're so happy to see us. And tomatoes, like I never even liked tomatoes until I went to Romania for the first time, and they taste like sweet fruit, and like I've had such a weird relationship to food. I'm so picky, but Romania kind of healed all of that for me because the food is just so good because it's grown in the quality soil with no, pesticides, and everything is just such a high quality, and it's the way food is supposed to be. It's just not ruined, So we knew we wanted that. We knew we wanted friends and family around us. We knew we wanted to share some of the workload of living this life and all of that. And we knew we wanted high quality on the houses. We knew we wanted houses that wasn't so freaking expensive and also wasn't so expensive on a monthly basis, So we had all of these crazy ideas. And we put it together and we thought, okay, let's find a plot where we can build 11 houses. So if we raise the money to do this, then we can use the excess money to like build some stuff for us in the middle, like vegetable patches for the chickens and such. And that's going to be great. We're going to live a slow life forever and life will be good.
So we found a plot in Orchetta.
We found the plot in Orchetta. We looked at another one before that because we went to
I don't even remember. Yeah.
We had the one that we went to that was just immediately the first one.
Mountains,
yeah. And then we went to the one in Orchetta that we really liked, but it was totally wrong for us. And then the third one that was so close to Alicante, which was completely flat and in the middle of like a neighborhood, which was also super wrong. Like there was no eco. It was just you would just have built a few houses. I don't even know how.
There was place for 1,000 houses there. Actually.
Yeah, but I didn't like that. It was flat. It was no mountain. It was not lush. It
wasn't that bad, actually. If I think about it, it wasn't as good as the one that we have now.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem with it is that, this is actually quite common in Spain. when the seller is lying about everything. Yeah. And nothing was real, what we were being sold.
Yeah.
And papers, approvals and all of that. It would have been, delayed 10 years if we chose that plot.
But also, when we started plot hunting, we thought for ourselves, 11 houses, 11 families. It's going to be great. And then we made the plan, so we saw how we can financially make this happen. And with all 11 of us coming together and doing this. And then we posted on social media that we're building an eco-village. That's the intro. And boom, it said. Boom, it said.
Yeah, that was the beginning of our project, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no matter how much we thought about it and, discussed it and all. I mean, people have ideas all the time. People discuss stuff like this all the time. Yeah. But the beginning of our project was that particular post.
Yeah.
Because we got thousands and thousands of emails and messages like in the first few days. And we saw that, okay, everybody wants this.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And it's so funny also because we've been running a marketing company for years, right? And when you do a branding session with somebody, with a company, you go through many different things you need to have in place. But one of them is also a thing in marketing called soft innovation. And we love, both Iancu and I love a soft innovation. So soft innovation is when you market something that exists from before in a new way. And it happens all the time. And I'm a sucker for it. Like, for example, I saw a couple of years ago, you know, the Snickers ice cream. Remember? The Snickers ice cream is just the Snickers bar ice cream, but suddenly it came on a stick. So I was like, oh my God, I have to buy it, you know, like have to taste it. It's identical, but it came on a stick. So that was the soft innovation, right? Or, you know, Pepsi Max, they will, you know, come out with a, you know, 20% bigger bottle or whatever. I will buy anything that's soft, that's a soft innovation. So we've had this little joke, Iancu and I, because he knows that if it's soft innovative, I have to buy it. And, we talked about that so many times that it's so difficult to find a new soft innovation. And then it came to us, a modern eco-village. That's the softest innovation I've seen.
I prefer to say it in a different way.
How do you prefer to say it?
Yeah, because it sounds like we haven't done anything special. We just, you know, twisted, you know, the look of it around so people would perceive it differently.
No,
and that's not what we've done at all. We actually haven't reinvented the wheel. That's correct. We haven't reinvented anything, but we took different concepts from different places and put them together into what the modern eco-village is. I mean, there's modern villages around the world, and they're popular and people thrive. But you know, it's a bunch of wooden cottages in the middle of the woods, and that's fine.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
We like our comfort. We like our life the way it is. We just want to upgrade it. So how do we get closer to nature? How do we keep the ecological aspect? How do we have better houses? We don't just want modern houses. We want houses that really are beneficial to our health and functional and all of that feed the climate here. I mean, this is one of the best climates in the world, but the houses really have to be adjusted for it. I mean, the first thing, me and Belinda, when we, talking to the camera again, the first thing that we've done when we came to Spain is to invest a lot of money in furniture and interior decoration. For the inside. Yeah. But life in Spain is outside. Yeah. And also the architect, when he designed the first house, he knows because he's from here, right? So he made all these places that are in the shadow, because in the summer it's so important to be in the shadow. And in the rainy season, you need a covered terrace anyway. So that's actually the place where we spend most of our time is on the terraces. And that's just a different way of thinking about houses down here. So the Spanish way of building houses, the comfort, the ecological villages around the world, the community projects around the world, all these things put together makes the modern eco-village. It's actually a lot of different concepts into one. And we made sure that we didn't leave anything out. I mean, we're having experts on circular economy, and it's so thought through. I mean, the soil on the modern eco-village is so thought through. Everything is very thought through.
We talked about it the other day. Like if we would go live on, you know, the meanest platform alive, TikTok, and have all the haters come with all of their things, we actually at this point don't think that we cannot be surprised by, there's not a single thing that we haven't thought at this point. You know, so when people come with, oh, you haven't thought about this or that or whatever. Yes, I think we actually have thought about, you know, down to the microorganism, to the freaking insects, to how the sun rises and sets, to what's going to happen in 30 years.
We're talking about the ecological haters, right? Because we have all the other haters that would rather live in the middle of a big city. And that's fine. I have nothing against people that want to live in the middle of a big city, you know, in the middle of pollution and noise. And
I just don't understand why they care about, like, I don't go on other people, like women who move to New York. I don't go and, you know, comment on them like, oh my God, cities suck. That sucks big time. I would never live the way you live. You suck. Like, come on, just if you want to live in New York, live in New York. Let me live in Blanes.
Right? Yeah, but we do have a lot of people interested in this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an important project, not only for us, but for the world. Yeah. I mean, big cities don't produce anything. They don't produce energy. They don't produce food. They don't produce anything of the things that we need. Yeah. They're just consumers. And having a sustainable community that They produce their own food and their own energy, and have their services being traded inside the community. And not only, I mean, we can accept people from the outside as well. But having places like this, a lot of communities like this around the world, I think that's the solution for a very, very happy world. Mm-hmm. Well, in my head at least, yeah.
I mean, it is such a beautiful concept, and
I mean, that's the reason. That's the reason why food is so low quality. Even the requirements for ecological food are so low that it's just ridiculous. It's almost impossible to find good, natural, ecological, organic food like they had 200 years ago.
I don't want to eat in the village because so we're growing our own food, right? So we're also gonna help anybody who wants to grow their own food in their own gardens.
Yes.
So we will have, a team of gardeners, and they can come to your house and they can adjust by what you eat, how many people you are, and what you eat the most, all of your favorite foods, and teach you how to grow them in your own garden, and also help you take care of your vegetables, right? But in addition to that, we are growing food that we're going to sell in the shops, have in the restaurants, and all of that. And for the love of what did you say, Cassie? One day you said, for the love of Bob, or something like that.
The love of Bob.
For the love of Bob. Cassie is sitting behind us. She's our producer for this podcast episode. So for the love of Bob, let's not call it organic. Can't we just call it freaking tomatoes? I think it's so sad that you have to
natural tomatoes.
Yeah, or just tomatoes.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be natural.
Yeah.
Can we just rebrand them into what they originally were?
Actually, I have to just say this. I used to be a musician, and I had a musician friend back in the days, and he was going around in the shops in Norway trying to find cheese, and he said, "Well, I found cheese with that spice or that type of taste or that, but I couldn't find cheese that tastes like cheese." He said, "Like everything is super produced and a lot of artificial flavor and a lot of not to speak about the conservants and preservation process, and it's just unbelievable that people don't know what natural is anymore."
Yeah, and that natural is so crazy.
It is.
It's you're crazy if you care about those kind of things. But even if you're coming at it from a health perspective, like as you know, my father passed from it was esophagus cancer, and I think it was based off of a very unhealthy food and lifestyle. That's and also, ironically enough, your father had the same type of cancer, just like a year or two later than mine, and your father is currently thriving, and my father passed. And my theory on this is that your father, yes, he also has a little bit of an unhealthy lifestyle, but he also has been eating every single day for the last 40 years vegetables from his own garden. Those are, as organic as they can be and as healthy as they can be. And I'm so sure that that's one of the... and he's walking and he's in movement all the time.
Because he's been eating meat as well. But meat comes from the... not even from the farms in the countryside, but from the people that have their own animals in the countryside. So we actually currently have two farmers. One of them we know 100% is going to be in the Marnico village.
Farmers,
yeah. So we'll have our own chickens and goats and sheep and bees.
If you go to one of our restaurants and you order a plate of chicken, you might be surprised of the size. Because a chicken, is not supposed to be the size of a turkey. So when you get a chicken, you're actually going to get a chicken.
Yeah, but it also tastes different and looks different, texture is different.
Yeah. No, we're going to have happy, beautiful animals.
Yes, and happy, beautiful people as well.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the story of the MEV, how it came to be in a very short...
well, let me tell you my story, how it came to be.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you were knocking down doors.
Yeah. So my first trip was, believe it or not, to the bank. And I actually had Danny with me. Danny came with me. Danny is our construction manager. And we went to the bank, and I I told the director what we were planning to do, and his response was, no,
Yeah.
no, you just, no. You will never, no, this is not possible. Then we went to the lawyer, and his response was, who the hell wants to be in an eco-village? I mean, people here come and live by the sea and eat fried food and cheap beers. You know,
exactly.
What are you doing?
Yeah. You want fries and beers. What are you?
Yeah. So those were the first two doors that we knocked down in the first day, and it was not so optimistic. And I got a bunch of other no's following those two, and we didn't give up. We just knock on doors, talk to people, and suddenly all the problems that were problems turn out to be not so problematic anymore. Everything can be fixed, and if you stick to what you're trying to do, eventually things will. I mean, if you try enough times, the chances are it's going to go, and that's exactly what happened. I just tried enough times. I just talked to enough people.
The law of probability.
Yeah, I went and I've seen all the investors. I've been to Marbella, I've been to Madrid, I've been to Valencia, I've been to Barcelona. I've been everywhere. I've been to Palma. Where haven't I been? And the people I met, some of them really nice, and some of them really shady. But I had to meet everyone, and I had to find a way to finance this project, and a way to gain even political support and all kinds of support that we needed.
Because your wife wanted a village?
Yes. So 1 year later, we're actually building a village.
But can we stop in this period of no's? Because I remember the first day I was at home when you went out to knock on the first doors, and you came home, and I was like, oh my God, how did it go? And you said, oh, they all said no. And you were just like, dum, 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 you know. I said, okay, so are you still happy to do this? Or like, what are you thinking? And you're like, oh, no. We just have to, go through the no's until we get to the yes. So that was no problem. You're just back at it again tomorrow. So that was very fascinating to see how easily your brain accepted the no's, because you knew that they were going to be there. You didn't expect everyone to just open the doors and say yes.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But I also knock on all the doors. I did not leave anything to chance.
Yeah.
And one example that I can recall now. I'm really proud that I'm working so hard on this project, and I take a lot of pride in it. But I think my proudest moment was when I went to Marbella about 2 months ago.
Oh my gosh, that was rough. That was rough.
Because we needed a bank guarantee, and we had this company willing to give us a bank guarantee for a phase of the project, and we really needed that bank guarantee. So I had to drive to Marbella. We just recently been to Palma for a few days, and I came back really, really sick. I had fever, which just wasn't functioning very well.
And just well. Iancu, to those who listen, Iancu doesn't get like the man flu. He has the opposite. I get the man flu. If I'm just a little bit sick, I am the sickest in the world. Iancu is opposite. He will pretend that he's not sick until whatever fever throws him in the ground. He pretends so hard that he's not sick when he's very sick. So, yeah. Well,
make the story short, I went to Marbella. I was driving. It's a 6-hour drive. I left early in the morning, like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, something like that, to be there in time for that particular meeting. And I just found out on the way that the guy I was supposed to see, he was also very sick, like chronically ill. And I was thinking, oh my God, I cannot get this person more sick. I cannot give this flu to a sick person. And so we sat like 3 meters apart, and I was having a mask and all that. And it went fine. The thing worth mentioning is that before I left, they announced the worst floods in history exactly in that part of Spain where I was going. And on the way there, I went fine. But I already started to feel on myself. I was so tired when I was there and sitting in a meeting with these people and lawyers, for speaking Spanish. My Spanish is not that good. It's actually almost non-existent. And trying to focus for 3 hours, it was really, really hard when I was so sick. I couldn't eat anything. I was sweating. I was in trouble. And on the way back, the floods started. And it was the most insane thing I ever seen. I was driving on the highway and rocks were falling down the mountain, like landslides, and a lot of accidents, people just crashing into each other. And I wasn't feeling well. I was just sweating, like my back and my head, and suddenly like, my ass cheek started to hurt from driving so much, And I find out if I put one hand
like a fist,
like a fist under my butt cheek, it doesn't hurt that much. I was just driving in one hand, trying to, like, it's this enormous pain.
And you didn't eat all day, but you took with you, because I got from Maria. I got this.
That was the worst. Oh my God. Okay, so we have a neighbor, and she told me if you eat garlic with honey,
garlic that's like fermented in honey
fermented
for a very long time,
it will help you with your cold, right? So I ate a bunch of that shit, way more than I was supposed to.
I gave him, like, at 4 o'clock in the morning, we woke up, and I knew that he was getting sick. So I told him, like, take a spoon of this. And he took one spoon. He was like, I think it helped. So he brought the jar, but you were like...
The entire jar.
You had no food the entire day. You were just drinking from that.
Yeah.
Because when I called you during that some of the on that drive, and you were like, I'm just burping garlic honey.
What's the worst? Like, I got dizzy every time I burp.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
sitting in the car burping and sweating and in extreme pain.
Maximum heat? Did you put the car
like
in
the pain
heat?
went from my ass cheek down to my legs, and it was hurting in my legs, and I was holding the wheel so tight because I didn't want to crash, right? And the conditions were horrible. It was so much water and pouring down, and visibility reduced and all that, and just trying to focus in. And I made it somehow, 6 hours passed by, and I made it. And
that vision when you came home, I thought that you were joking.
But like 100 meters before I came home, I was in the last roundabout before I came to our house, and I had to stop the car because I fainted.
This is horrendous.
And then, recovered for like 2 minutes, and then drove the last 100 meters. Yeah. That's how I got home.
Because usually when you travel, we always talk on the phone all the time. But that day we barely spoke. And I didn't want to call because I knew that, the weather was going to be bad. You needed to focus. But I didn't know that you were this sick. So when you came home, because you left like 4 a.m., and you came home around 9 and 10 in the evening, and I had bought all this Indian food, and like we had, me and your daughter, we had everything ready, and candlelights and red wine and everything, because you're a foodie, you love food. And you come in and you're like, I opened the door and I watched you walk up the walkway up, and you're like shivering, like I thought that you were just cracking a joke because it looked so weird, your walk.
I was freezing.
Yeah, and you came in and I said, look, we have food. And you just looked at the table and you were like, can't eat. And then you just stormed into the bedroom and you took like 2 blankets over you. You got dressed and everything. And then I was like, oh my gosh, you are so sick right now. And I just thought to myself, this is how much he wants this project. This is the lengths that he's willing to go through for the project. And you would probably have gone even further if you could. Like what you put into this project is literally blood, sweat, and tears. Like it's everything that you have and everything that you are.
I haven't shied away on anything that could have led to something. I didn't leave anything to chance. No. And to me that was my share of things I need to do for this project. This is what I'm good at. I'm good at networking with people and good at talking to people. So I just connect myself through all these different channels and to get things approved and to get things going and moving. And it was a very fun ride.
It's been so crazy
and
to
it's just
watch.
starting.
Yeah, I think I don't even know how often I tell you during a week that it's so much fun watching you do what you do, because every week there's something new. Every week we're growing and developing into something major. Some weeks are really tough, and we're like, okay, let's do this. And I know also you shield, like we talk about this, you shield me from a lot of the difficult stuff, because I get very emotional about everything. So we decided it's better if I only know the highlights and all the good stuff. So it's also funny sometimes when I tell the story, I'm like, oh my gosh, like everybody, there's so many people in this project. They all wanted the same. It's like, it's not just our manifestation, it's all of us. And it's such a positive project and everything is just going smooth. And you're just thinking, oh my gosh, like it's more difficult than that. But,
well, I mean, in all fairness, it is not only us. This project came to the place where it is today because of all the people that came into the project. All these people helping with their different expertise and the help that we got from Cassie and Caitlin, and we really needed it. And recently Stephen and Alisa
and guys, I mean, but people don't even know, because usually when you're in a place like this, like we want to start this thing. A lot of people are kind of waiting for you to put out like a job description, and you can apply for that if you want to, and here's everything how it's going to go down, and here's the structure and stuff like that. But you and I knew that it takes a village to build a village, and we saw early on, like we never went out there and said, hey, we need somebody to help us with communication. No, Cassie and Caitlin came to us and they were like, hey, you guys need help with communication, you know? Like, yes. So they came to us and they were like, we love your vision. We want to help build this. And this is how Alyssa came on board also. And she's like, I see what you guys are doing. I want to help. And Stephen came on, and Don came on, and it's
all the other members. Like,
all the
Lauren,
members.
With
yes.
Insane
Lauren was
knowledge.
the first person we met.
Yeah, she was the first person we met. Yeah.
So we have these people that understand the concept, understand the fact that if we come together, we can actually build this thing together. Everybody knows that it's not me and Iancu who are, handing out tasks and people are running like minions. It's all of us on the floor together. Everybody is in their specific place and everybody is shining so much. And we're so wildly different, all of us. And this is also why I think it's working so well. And we also see now how quickly this little family is going to grow into something freaking huge. It's going very fast now. So in the next episode, you're going to get to meet some of the team that's going to become regulars on this podcast.
In the next episodes.
Next episodes, yeah. But in the next episode, it's like an introduction of the team. So some of the people who are here every single day that has, given up everything to come work and make sure that we can build this amazing thing that we're building. And you're going to love them. They are fantastic human beings. So in the next episode, you're going to meet Stephen, Alyssa, and Cassie. They're the communication manager, the community manager, and the project manager. All a bunch of managers. So they're going to be sitting here, and they're going to tell you guys how they heard of the MEV, what made them drop everything and come and build something that didn't exist from before, move to a different country. How the hell did they trust us that we could do this, and what who they are just as people, and also what their day looks like now that they're working for the MEV. So I'm very excited for everyone to get to know and come a little bit behind the scenes of this this community. And we're gonna
with that said, the next podcast are not going to be only about the people working here, but maybe one or two or in betweens. But we will go in depth on different topics about the MEV. That's what people can expect from future podcasts.
Yes. I was only talking about there's one more episode that you can meet the team, and then the team, us, the five of us, we will come in every single week and we will go in depths about what we're building, why we're building it, and how. So we have a lot of different topics that we really want to deep dive into, because like Iancu said earlier, and that we're so proud of. Oh, like Iancu said, now I'm also talking to them, not to you. Sorry. Like you said earlier, that we're so proud of the details and how we think that we have covered now everything. Not to be on our high horse. We love it when people come to us and let us know different things, but we really think that we have thought about everything, and we really want to share that because it's been so much work getting to that point, and we're so proud. And we cannot get this out in just a little text on a website or a little text on Insta or whatever. We want to have a place where we can go in depth. So if you have any questions that you want us to talk about on the MEV, you can send us an email on info@moderneecovillage.com.
Or just check the website at moderneecovillage.com, and there's many ways of contact there, and a form that you can fill if you're interested in our project, and that's how we get in touch. And most likely, Cassie or Caitlin or Alisa will get in touch. So, but this is our project. We kind of covered the basics of it, and where it comes from, and why we want to do this. And I think this is a very good start for our podcast.
I think so.
I'm actually very excited for the next month.
I think that's important because it's such a crazy project, and I want people to feel like they know us a little bit, how we came to this, what we're doing, how excited. Because we still get the question like, "Oh, but are you going to live there?" It's like, we're doing this for us. So we're going to live there with our friends, our family, our dogs.
That's also worth mentioning that everyone in the team is going to live there. We only hire people from the community pool. Mm. So
that changes how you're building this, because everybody is building their future.
Yeah.
So if you're hired in the MEV, you're living in the MEV, and that's how this came to be, which is crazy. But I wanted to give one little shout out to Jose.
You gotta stop.
I gotta stop. The thing is that, like, Jose is spelled Jose, right? Yeah. So it's not even Josie, but somehow every single time I talk about exactly. So that song is stuck in my head every single time I think about our Escobedo, and he's such a fun, positive, beautiful person.
Oh my God! If people see Jose, they get
everybody falls in love with him. Yeah, he's so eager,
so
and passionate and amazing.
He loves this project.
Yeah, so
he just told me the other day, like his wife Sylvia, she's
amazing.
She's a civil engineer, and he told me, like, even when we go, to restaurants having a date night or something, we only talking about the MEV.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. So now when Iancu's been like, I just talked to earlier, he told me, I talked to Jose, we're having a meeting tomorrow. And I said, wasn't he on a vacation far away? So I'm going to stop. But anyhow, so when we first got to Jose, how did you pick him because we went knocking on all of these doors to try to see if anybody could have any faith in us.
He got recommended by a friend, yeah.
Okay. Because he is like the best of the best, and he's award-winning, and he does huge projects. So Iancu was like, he's probably going to listen to me.
Yeah. The chances of working with Jose were very slim. Yeah. But he heard what we're trying to do, and
yeah, because he told us this thing, and I will never forget it, because he was explaining to us all of the hurdles that we have to overcome, but in this passionate, beautiful way, not in a negative way, as in, And then he looked at us, and he was smiling and laughing, and he said. He's like, because he's like very apologetic. He doesn't want to say anything bad. So he's like, don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. But you are so dumb and inexperienced that you cannot think how difficult it is. And this is probably why you can do it. And I just.
He didn't say dumb, but that's what he meant.
Inexperienced. I think he said dumb.
No, he didn't. No.
Inexperienced, he said.
Inexperienced, yeah.
Okay. But and it was so true, because he said, if you had done that, he said, people who have done this, just thinking about this project causes them so much headache that they don't even bother to go there.
It's so much headache. Many things have to be aligned. Yeah. It costs so much money. Yeah. It's just almost impossible to navigate unless you're a really big company and you have all these financial means to do it. But then you won't build then you won't build eco-village. Then you're gonna build a block of lands, by the sea. Yeah. So this project is just impossible as a concept.
Yeah, it is actually, because it's coming to life only because future inhabitants of the eco-village want to build it, right?
Exactly.
So it's only because it's a community that's building it, and we're building our own future. So I try to focus on how I want my future to be. You focus on your future. Everybody's focusing on theirs, and we're all like the different ingredients to make the perfect pie. So it's
we have very good leadership, and I don't mean me, I mean Stephen.
Yes,
and
we do love Stephen.
Yeah, everybody loves Stephen.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to see so many capable, resourceful people came together in this project, and it is what it is today, and it looks like it's going to be exactly the way we planned it. And
that's not what you told me the other day.
Oh, what did I tell you?
You told me that honey, you didn't say Belinda, I would have freaked out. I think you said baby puce. This is going to exceed all of your wildest dreams, is what you said. You said you couldn't even, it's bigger and better than you could ever think. So
what I meant is that the project is way bigger than what we thought it's going to be. And it's going to be like 100 times more work than we thought it's going to be.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I just saw the bougainvilleas. I saw, the lemon trees, the food forest. I was just walking into, we have still not decided on will there or will there not be a book cafe?
Of course. Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Cassie, you heard that? Yeah. Everybody heard that?
Yes, it's approved.
Okay, then we need someone to work in the book cafe. That's great. It's going to be called Belinda's Favorites. It's going to be great. No, but
yeah, well, I think we just leave some for the next podcast as well.
Yeah.
Should we? Yeah.
We're very excited. But yeah, reach out. This is a community project. If you have any questions, we reply emails, we take Zoom calls, we take phone calls, we do freaking WhatsApps, we do anything. We're super transparent, and together we're doing this. So if you feel like you need to be part of this, hurry up. Don't let this chance pass you. I'm so happy for the people who did this, like for our members, for the everybody. I'm so genuinely happy for them. Today, we had some. I wanted to say it now, but I was told that we shouldn't talk so loud about it yet, and I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but we had some happy news, and we were like, yay. So that happened, and then I was just so happy for them. The people, we
have a lot of people joining our project constantly, and I mean, when their wishes are aligned with ours, it's just a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Then suddenly we can kind of see their future, and it's just such a beautiful thing. And like you and I talked about also many times, that because we have this lingering question, like, what if it's possible? What if it's actually possible to live this beautiful, beautiful life, this safe place where you feel safe from anything that might happen, where you can trust the food, you can trust your neighbors, you can trust your community, you can trust your house. Like, what if this is actually possible, and you can live slow, and you can have all of these nutrients, just like your tomato's going to have, what did it say, the gardener, like 14 times more nutrients than an organic tomato in the store?
It's at 10.
10? So, I mean, just this is possible. You can see sunrises and sunsets. You can sing freaking Kumbaya, my lord, if you want to. It's this. I don't want to. No, I do not picture you running around singing Kumbaya, my lord. I do see me, though. It might happen to me. Yeah.
Well, thank you for this beautiful podcast.
Same, baby.
Good job. So, follow up for more podcasts.
Yeah.
From the Modern Eco Village.
Yeah. You got to go back to work because Mama needs a village.
Yes.